Ooh, I hit start. I hit start. I think we're live. I think we're live.
We indeed are.
Oh, we're alive. It's alive. All right. Well, hopefully some people will join us here live. And if not, that's okay too. All right. So today we're going to do a little chatteroony about the YouTube embedded player, the good, the bad, and the alternatives. And should be fun. It's a pet peeve of mine and something that I both love and hate. And we hope everybody who joins us live will be able to chime in on whether they love or hate the YouTube embedded player. We'd be glad to hear about it. So, all right, Steve, are we ready to get started on time for once?
Indeed.
All right, then here we go. In 5, 4. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to discuss the YouTube embedded video player and why I both love and hate it. Should be interesting. And today's episode is made possible by, well, a product that actually solves the issues that I have with YouTube embedded player, Kaptiwa version 2.0, which came out just the other day. And what's great about Kaptiwa is it gives you not only a great player to replace that YouTube player, but it actually gives you the storage for your videos, so you never have to worry about YouTube or Vimeo just deciding one day to whack your video and take it away. Never worry about that again. Have a great player, have fast loading videos that stream well, don't buffer, and again, never worry about those big media companies shutting you down. It's a good thing. So before we get into all that, let's hit that beautiful music so we can start the show. Here it comes. Ooh.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper, and our landing page is govmm.com, where you can subscribe to your favorite podcatcher and get social with us.
Getting social with it. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting social, what did you think of my video I sent you this morning?
That was pretty cool. You were Donald Trump, and you said, Steve, I'll be ready for the show. Ray will be ready for the show today. It will be fantastic. Fantastic.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. We found a new app, and the app is called Mug Life, Muglife. And, if you remember, I used to do a lot of these videos years ago with a program that would take an image and it would turn it into a talking thing, and it was really cool. Well, now you can do that on your phone in about 2 seconds and in real time. It's absolutely incredible the way technology has grown. I mean, this is a software that cost a lot of money. That's pretty much replaced by a little app on your phone. Now, there are some disadvantages. It only does tall video. It doesn't do wide video. So that's kind of a limitation. It would be nice if they had the option to do either one. But and that's not totally correct either, because one of the videos that I made, it depends on the image. And one of them I did earlier was with Bob Ross. And it was a painting with him on the side, so it was a wide video. So it can do wide videos kind of, but it would be nice if you could choose whether the output video was one or the other. But a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff. We can do some neat things with that. You can have some fun with your marketing and with your memes. So imagine, the meme's actually talking now. So, when you post a meme of Donald Trump, you can actually, talk in his voice and it'll animate and all that. So a lot of cool things you can do with it. I have some fun with that. I like to do, mix my business with a little bit of fun. So a program like that really can just elevate things in a goofy way that, maybe gets people to laugh instead of cry when I post things, which usually when I post stuff, people cry. So to have them laugh a little bit is good. And, fun stuff. So check it out, Mug Life. It's not a plug. We're not getting paid to sponsor that. It's just something I came across and thought was pretty neat and wanted to share it. I sent Steve a video, and I put a video up on YouTube or on Facebook this morning. I sent videos to my family that are in Disney World right now. Ooh. And, so just had a little bit of fun with it. But we're not here to talk about fun. We're here to talk about tragedy, Steve. Tragedy.
Oh.
And that tragedy is the YouTube embedded player.
Indeed.
We should have a boo sound effect. Boo, 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 boo. And the reality is, I'm going to trash that YouTube embedded player quite a bit, but I'm also going to give something positive about it as well, because it's not all negative. It can be all negative for certain situations, but in certain other situations, it might not be all negative. So the issue that we're talking about is back about, was it October, somewhere around there, maybe even earlier. I can't recall when it was, but at some point in time last year, YouTube changed their embedded player. And what they did was they started to include all sorts of stuff. You couldn't turn it off anymore. Like, you used to be able to turn certain things on, turn certain things off by changing the code and stuff like that. And they actually removed a lot of that, and they added more junk to the embedded player. Now, in their defense, I don't blame them. They can't just be people's repository for videos for free and then give you the player so that you're not even, sending people to YouTube. You're just putting it on your page. So I kind of get what they're doing and why they're doing it. They want to, get people to their site, and they want to share videos there. So when they embed videos, it's convenience, but they want to be able to drive traffic back to themselves. So what they did was they made it so that you can't get rid of any of the branding on the video anymore. It now puts when you pause it, it puts the text to the video, or if you hover over it, it puts the text to the video at the top that's clickable and goes back to YouTube. You've got the YouTube, remind me later stuff. You got the YouTube logo in the bottom that you can click and go back to YouTube. You've got, when you pause, you've got the related videos. And this is the biggest thing that people complain about. Imagine that you're selling a product, okay? And you've got a sales page, and you put your video sales letter or demo video onto YouTube. You embed that YouTube video onto your product, and you're selling polka dotted ties, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, you put your video on there, and it talks all about polka dotted ties, shows how easy it is to tie them, and somebody hits pause. Well, all of a sudden, as soon as they hit pause, videos show up, boop, 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 on that player, and guess where they go? They go to other videos, potentially, about ties. So you literally are sending traffic to your competition. Now, if you're lucky, and there are some techniques that you can mess with that will actually make it so that those 3 videos are yours instead of a competitor's. But if you don't know how to do that, it's going to be competitors. And even if you know how to do that, you're still sending people away to something else. They're clicking on that and they're going to something else. And this player is just filled with that. There's I think I counted it up one time. It was 12 different clicks that people could make off of one player to go back to YouTube. Plus, it's got the icon covering part of the video. It's got the text covering the video. It's just an absolute mess. And the problem with that is if you're working with a client and you put that mess on their page, it just doesn't look very good. It's not very professional. And of course, the other major issue with YouTube is you could go through all this effort. You could upload it to YouTube. You could do everything properly. And some competitor is going to go in and flag that video and say it's inappropriate. And they're going to do it numerous times. And the next thing you know, your client's going to wake up. They're going to look at their website. And instead of a video, they're going to see a big black rectangle. And it's going to say, this video was removed for violating our terms of service or whatever. Guess what kind of call you're going to get when they see this? It's not going to be a pleasant one. So not only is the YouTube player a mess, looks unprofessional, has all those clicks that take people away from what you're trying to offer or sell, but you could get your video easily banned. You have no control over that video. So if they ban it, you're done. You put it on Vimeo, you're likely to get it banned at some point. Gone. And you're going to suffer the same issue. You're going to get that slightly more colorful blank spot on your page instead of the black one. But either way, your client's not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be getting sales from it. You're going to be driving people away. People are going to think you're unprofessional. So it's not a good situation most of the time. Now, I say most of the time because there is a benefit to using the YouTube embedded player as well. And that is, for instance, if you're trying to rank your video on YouTube, having it embedded in places will actually help that ranking. So in that regard, it's actually a good thing. And we've also discovered that, when you embed that YouTube video into your web page, it will help to show up in the search engines for that page. It'll help that page to rank better. And it's going to, at the same time, have that reciprocation with the YouTube channel that's going to help the video to rank there. So there is a little bit of give and take here. Now, let me tell you what I recommend with this. If you are doing a sales page for a product, maybe it's just a single sales page, you don't want to use that YouTube video if you can avoid it. If you have to, use it, but you really don't want to. You want to use something that's more professional, that's not going to drive traffic away, and that's not going to get banned. And the reason for that is on that page, you don't want any distractions. You don't want anything to go wrong. It's kind of a mission critical page. Now, on the opposite side of that, if let's say you're a dentist and you've got a website and you've got a section for tooth whitening. Well, on that section for tooth whitening that's kind of hidden in your site, putting a YouTube video there about tooth whitening might be a good idea. And the reason for that is it's going to help that page to rank. It's going to be giving that reciprocation with YouTube and the page, so both of them can rank better. And it can be a positive thing in that particular situation. You still have to pay attention. They could ban that and have a big blank spot on there, but at least it's not on your front page. It's one of the back pages. So there are some benefits there. On the front of that same dentist page, you probably don't want to use a YouTube video. You probably want to have something that matches the style of the page, that looks professional, doesn't have buttons all over it, and still plays back quickly. And that's that's the type of page where you definitely don't want to use the YouTube player. Can you? Yes. Will it work most of the time? Yes. Does it look like heck? Yes, it does. And is it going to get you banned? Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But it's not going to be good if it does. I would want to have something that actually does a good job of displaying your videos without all of that risk and without all of that ugly YouTube player stuff. So the question is, what do we do? How do we change that? Because there are quite a few options out there. There are actually some video players that what they do is through some coding, they actually make it so that you're actually showing the YouTube player on your screen, but they kind of mask it in their own player. And so when people hit pause, instead of seeing those related videos, it throws a thumbnail up immediately. So you see a thumbnail. When you go to hit play again, the thumbnail will go away. That's a good solution, but it's a little bit clunky. And if YouTube bans your video or Vimeo bans your video, it's still gone. You're still out of luck there. So that's not a great option. The other options are any of the many players that are out there. And there are many really, really good, fun players out there. I love some of these players. Problem being is, with most of those, you need to store your video on something like Amazon S3 or use the YouTube embedded video, YouTube video, and you're still going to be running into those same issues there. But you put it onto S3, or some people put them on like Dropbox or Google Drive and plug that into that player, which is good. It's a good alternative to that. You're likely not to get anything banned. It's not going to go anywhere. Your player is going to be better. But there is one inherent issue with that, and that is Amazon S3, Google Drive, Dropbox, any of those types of things, they are not video streaming solutions. They are file storage solutions, which means that while, yes, you can put a player and put that S3 video, when a visitor hits your page, if they don't have super fast internet and everything isn't working fine, they hit play, it's probably going to pause for a few seconds before it starts going. And you've got a higher likelihood that in the middle of your video, it's going to start buffering and stop and buffer. And the reason for that is because just putting a file onto a storage solution is not optimizing it for playback over the internet. When you put it into a place that actually is for media storage and it optimizes that video specifically for streaming playback, you're going to get a much, much better experience. And that's why at the beginning of the show, we were sponsored by Kaptiwa. And the reason that I did this particular show is because Kaptiwa came out, and I've been dealing with it for the last couple of days, so I thought it was something good to talk about. A program like Kaptiwa, what it does is it actually has streaming media storage, and it optimizes your videos for streaming media. So you don't upload it to YouTube. You don't upload it to S3 or Dropbox or anything like that. You actually go into Kaptiwa, upload your video, and just like on YouTube, it's going to show it uploading, and then it's going to show it optimizing that video. So it's going to go through and do whatever magic YouTube does to make it still look good, but be much smaller and stream faster and whatnot. And the results are actually really, really staggering. The pages that I've created and put those videos in, you hit play and it is just boom, it plays. There's no pause whatsoever. You jump to the middle of the video, it's going to start playing from the middle of the video. I don't see any buffering or stuttering. Now, is it never going to have buffering and stuttering? We can't control that because the person watching the video might be on dial-up. Who knows? There are other reasons that can go into that. However, with all things being equal, the speed is incredible. In fact, it was actually, when I did some of my testings, it actually performed better than a YouTube embedded video when it comes to instant playback. This actually started playing back faster. And I think the reason for that is because you don't have 1.8 billion people using these servers. You have a very small number of people using the servers, so they're not getting bogged down at all, on top of the fact that the videos are optimized specifically for streaming back, and so are the servers. So just an incredible job with that. And then on top of that, you get your video player. This is where you get to go in and choose the colors that you want for the player. Do you want to have the bar on the bottom? Do you want to have a big play button? Do you want to have a volume control? Do you want to have a full screen button? Do you want to add your logo? All of these things can be controlled by you. So for mine, I created a video player that's got a reddish orange tinge to it to match my logo, which you can see down below if you're watching right now, scrolling by. And it's got my logo on the video, and if you click the logo on the video, it'll take you to wherever you told it to go to. And in my case with, for instance, the Kaptiwa video, the demo, if they click on that, it takes them to the page to purchase Kaptiwa. So it's a very, very good player for that. It gives you a lot of control. But on top of that, now, mind you, as much as I love this player and the control, if there's one, I don't even know if the word criticism is there. My one thing on Kaptiwa, I would have loved to see more control over the look and feel. For instance, there are some other players out there that they'll put frames around the videos so it looks like an iPad or that it looks like a computer. So it doesn't have a lot of those things. You can control what's on the screen. You can control the colors and things like that. But I would have loved to see even more as far as that goes, just a real skinning and things like that. But at the same time, that might interfere with something I'm going to talk about in a second. So inside of the player, not only do you get all of those controls, but you get to go in and you get to optimize it for SEO purposes. So you can make sure that not only do you have your title, description, and tags on your actual video, but you can go into an SEO section and put in meta information. So that would be more text and more titling and more keywords and things that aren't seen by humans, but are seen by the search engines. And that can be a big help. Plus, you have the ability to add in like a Facebook pixel. So you could then start doing advertising where, hey, who watched my video? Send them an ad. They watch my video, send them an ad. So you can put the pixel in there. You got the ability to put Google Analytics in there. You've got the ability to put third-party analytics in there. And all of that's going to help you to track and be able to retarget people and, all of that fun stuff directly from the video. And that's a really cool thing. The other thing that they add, and I believe this is in the upsell, but I'm not positive on that. I've got to double check on that because the version I have has it, but I don't know if I've got the upgrade or not. So I got to double check on that. You have the ability to run ads. And this is really cool. It works just like YouTube. So for instance, you have, let's say you have a video that teaches people how to do something. Well, you could take another video that sells something that's related to that and have it run as a pre-roll ad, just like you would on YouTube. And you can even have it where after 5 seconds, they can skip. So you can do that directly inside of this program. You can also have pop-ups, and other types of ads that'll pop up, banners and whatnot. So you can do a lot of really, really cool stuff with that at the same time as not, worrying about getting banned and whatnot. So it's a very, very cool player as far as all of that goes. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, and this is something that has a little bit of irony with it, really, if you think about it. One of the things that Google looks for nowadays that they say is very important for SEO is the speed of your website. If your website is slow, they're going to penalize you for it. When you use the YouTube embedded player, it slows down your page. So even though, YouTube is owned by Google, Google says your page needs to be faster. When you use the YouTube embedded player, it can slow down your page. I remember doing some tests with this a while ago because I was noticing some issues, and I had a page that had a few YouTube videos on it, and I would run it through the YouTube or the Google page speed, and it would get a really poor score. And I'm like, wow, I'm used to getting really high scores with this. Well, somebody said, check the YouTube videos. So I removed the YouTube videos, ran it again, and boom, it was right up to like a 90-some%. And so it was like a 60-point drop by having those videos on there, which is a lot of slowdown on there. And yes, I know there's going to be some SEOs that are listening to this and going, well, what you need to do is you need to delay the playback and, delay the loading of this. And there are some ways around it. But, I'm not some big, website design master. I use things like Convertry and just make them in seconds and they're ready to go. I'm not going to be able to get into that code and know what the heck it even means, let alone to change it and whatnot. So for me, that's a big issue. Well, when you use this player in there, you don't see those kinds of slowdowns. Now, is there going to be a slowdown? I would assume there's probably some. Sometimes it's tough to tell. And, you're putting something on the page that's got to load. So I'm sure it's going to have some sort of effect on it. But it's not going to have the effect that the YouTube embedded player has. It's not going to have the effect that the Vimeo player has on it. It's definitely not going to have the effect that some of these other third-party ones that aren't well optimized is going to have. So you get to have a nice, quick player that keeps your page loading fast so that you don't get penalized for being slow. Going back to the YouTube player, one of the things that people say can help with your SEO is having that YouTube embedded video in there. So there is give and take, but inside of Kaptiwa, because you have the ability to put in all that metadata, when you embed that video onto your page, you're including that metadata again. So they're once again finding all of that same information that you have about the product or service or page. And so it's going to help you to get a lot more out of that as well. So you're still going to have all of that information in that video player on your page, which is going to help with SEO. So, there you go. That's my little spiel on that.
A lot of good info there. Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Adding that metadata is kind of like the Yoast SEO plugin in WordPress, where you've got that plugin, you put all your stuff in there, and Google says, "Oh, that's what's there." Cool.
It can only help as far as that goes, getting that in there. And I haven't been using it long enough to do long-term tests on, hey, do these videos start to show up in Google or in the Google video section? It's too soon for me to really comment on that. But to be perfectly honest with you, most of the time when I'm dealing with creating a sales page or I'm not really looking to have that video rank. It's a lot of times that video might not even make sense until you're already on the page or, you've been sent over to that page and you know what it is. So, I'm guessing the fact that the metadata is there means it can show up in different searches, but, it just hasn't been around long enough for me to test that. I should ask the guys about that and see what they say, but I would assume it's going to help out as far as that goes overall. SEO on the website by having the metadata there and probably the video showing up as well. So that's what's exciting about that. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about with this, because a lot of people have been questioning me about YouTube itself. When I'm talking about the YouTube embedded player, I am not in any way putting down YouTube itself. YouTube itself is still the video powerhouse. It's the one I'm going to use when I want to rank videos, when I want to get my message out there, when I'm trying to reach the world. It's going to be YouTube. Nothing has changed there. The only thing that's changed is I'm not going to use the embedded player, at least not that often. There are going to be times, there's certainly going to be times when I just quickly throw one up there or whatever, because quite honestly, the thing working for doing that is the fact that Convertry makes it very, very easy to put a YouTube video on the page. And sometimes you're just in a hurry, you've got a video, you just do it and get it out there. So that will happen from time to time. But for the most part, if I'm planning ahead and getting things together, I'm not going to want to use that YouTube embedded player very often at all. But we still love YouTube. We still do everything we can with YouTube. Every client that I have, we build them a killer YouTube channel because we know it is a powerhouse. It's going to help them to get more clients. And so we're not putting down YouTube itself. And in fact, I'm not even putting YouTube down for the player. If it was my player, I'd probably do the same thing because, why am I giving, all this stuff to freeloaders and whatnot? No, I want some of that traffic back. So I don't blame them for doing that. But this gives you an alternative that actually works. Because like I said, some of the alternatives in the past, they didn't load fast. They had buffering issues, or you were still using YouTube. So there was still some of those things in there. But with this, you get all of it in there. And this isn't the only program, by the way, as some people have asked me questions about other things. For instance, Convertri themselves, they actually have a new built-in video feature that you can, I shouldn't say built-in because you do have to upgrade. You have to buy the version that has it. But it's got the same type of thing where inside of Convertri itself, you can upload a video and it's going to optimize it on the fast playback and give you the video right in there. Now, what I've noticed is it's not as quick as Kaptiwa. Kaptiwa still loads faster and plays, gets playing a lot quicker. But it's still a great alternative to using the YouTube embedded player. It's still an optimized video, so it's not going to buffer a lot, hopefully, and it should play back well. So both of those are really, really good solutions. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the videos themselves are actually being stored in the same storage same optimized media storage places. They probably both contract the same people, I would guess. I don't know for sure, but it's an educated guess because there's only a few options out there that really, do that properly. So they might both be using the same one. So you might be getting a very similar experience with both of them. Obviously, the Kaptiwa one, you've got a lot more options with it because you can put it anywhere versus, the Convertri one, it's only going to be in Convertri. So a couple options out there for that. Again, anything is probably going to be better than seeing the big black "Your Band" banner on the screen instead of a video. Yeah, but this allows you at a very, very affordable price to upload your videos, to have them stream quickly, to have a nice player that you control, SEO options for search, and even the ability to add commercials onto it and keep your webpage sped up. So it's a great option for all of those things. So I highly, highly recommend Kaptiwa for that. In fact, if you're watching this live, be aware that you can have issues with that. So, and it looks like, Steve, we actually lost connection there for a second.
We did? Am I here?
Oh yeah, you're there, but I saw a little message pop up, so I think it might have froze up on the poor people.
A while back I did freeze up, and for I don't know, a couple seconds.
It's my lovely internet here, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was kind of throttling, I suppose. But
my internet here is as good as the YouTube embedded player.
Oh.
So,
well, this neat thing about Kaptiwa is that you can get the metadata in there, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like what you put in your title tags, descriptions in YouTube. Yep. And you can also put a citation in there, which is good.
Yep. Anytime you can put in those citations, you got to do it. It's going to be a big help.
Yeah.
So that's the Kaptiwa player in exchange for the YouTube embedded player. That's all I got to say about that. I
rarely run across websites that have a homepage video welcoming them to the website. And it's a good idea to do that because you're going to keep people on that homepage for a longer time.
Yep.
And then if you use that third-party player, that's even better because then you more or less own it, But it's few and far between that I see dentists. I just got done with dentists. All the dentists in Omaha, not one had a welcome video on their webpage.
Oh, that's wild.
An observation there.
Yeah, and if you use something like Lead Kahuna, it'll tell you in that report if they have and you're right, most of them do not have a video on that home page, and it's definitely something that they need to have. It's a requirement these days. I can't imagine why they don't. I mean, I guess it's lack of understanding, lack of ability to create a video, but it's so important. Such a big deal for a lot of reasons, not only for keeping people on the page, but for SEO purposes. I mean, it's just a big help. And same goes for their Google My Business, getting those videos onto Google My Business as well. Do not try to upload 400 images and 300 videos all at once to
Ray can tell you.
to Google My Business. Mine is still broken from 6 months ago when I tried to do that.
Oh, boy.
So, and even Google had no idea how to fix it. Like, I was actually on the phone with the Google rep, and she's like, I have no idea what to do.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
So,
yeah,
Yep.
that's, well, learning
video,
experience.
very important in all those situations. So be sure to use it. Be sure to use it wisely. Be sure to use it properly.
Yep.
And if you do, it'll be a
360
better day.
videos, which is another show, but 360 videos are also good on Google My Business, depending on the business. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're a landscaping company, you know, maybe there's not an advantage to showing their plant. Maybe there is, but a retailer, clothing store, boutique shop, dentists,
Real estate,
they're,
all sorts of
real
things.
estate.
Get out there and
Huge.
do it. Got to get that media built.
Yep. Yepper.
All right, Steve. Well, that's all I've got for today. What
Okay.
about you?
I'm done.
All right. Well, with that, this is the most awkward ending we've ever
Yeah.
had to a show here. But
I'm going to go back to sleep now.
that's right. Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Get back into your shell. All right. Well, if you're ready to go back into your shell, do not do that yet. You want to make sure that you're out there doing the things you need to do and making sure that you've got video on those pages and that video is done professionally, at least the player. Kaptiwa, great way to do that. Be sure to go out there and check it out. down
Indeed. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
For Steve, I'm Ray the Video Guy, and remember that today's episode was made possible by
Who?
Kaptiwa.
Oh.
So there you go. If you want to be able to start adding videos to your page that look professional, load fast, keep your website loading quickly, and gives you all sorts of marketing and control over the look and feel of your player, well, then you want to check out Kaptiwa because it not only gives you a great player, but it stores the video for you on fast video servers that are optimized for playback, so you get great streaming without any of the issues that you might get by putting a video onto S3. So check it out by clicking the link down below, which is raythevideoguy.com/Kaptiwa, Kaptiwa, Kaptiwa. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
So check it out. And if you got questions, we're always here to answer those questions because we love hearing questions from you. Post your questions down below. Give us a 5-star review wherever you can. And of course, be here every week, Thursdays at 2 p.m. for
No, Friday.
Fridays at 2 p.m.
What day is
Woo.
it?
Am I partying for Friday a little early? I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
the Facebook Live is Friday at 2 p.m.
Friday
and
at 2
then,
p.m. is when our show drops. So be sure
and
to
then
join us at that time.
I
for a new
I
episode.
upload the video to YouTube from beginning to end, and then we kind of edit it down and put it on. Do an audio podcast of it too, which you can find on Apple Podcasts at
Absolutely.
all.
Be sure to subscribe, and then it'll just come to you. You won't even have to go looking for it.
That's right.
It's amazing technology.
There's a lot of good podcatchers out there too, but of course I think Apple Podcasts is probably the top one. But iHeart, we're on iHeart. We're on Google Podcasts.
We're like American
Stitcher.
Express. We're everywhere
Stitcher.
you want to be.
Everywhere you want to be.
All right.
So, yeah.
Good. Well,
Okay,
with
buddy.
that, let's hit that funky music and get the heck out of here for a nice long weekend. Well, I guess not that long. It's still only till Monday, but
Yeah,
get
but,
started.
unless you
if
want
you're
to take
watching this
Monday off.
live on Facebook, join us right after this. You can be there 3 o'clock for our webinar on Kaptiwa. We're going to show and reveal everything. So be sure to join us there. And we'll see you guys next week. Here comes that theme song.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.